everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight. My name is Sarah Huang. I'm the virtual chapter leader and founder of Saturday Night SQL. Before we start, let me go through the past monthly deck and see what's going on within the past community. This meeting is recorded, and I will send out the link, YouTube link, to everybody so that you can watch the video later on. PASS has an annual summit, and this year our chapter discount code is VC15QVS7. Please use this code for registration. You can get $150 discount. And this is a great conference you don't want to miss. And also your vote counts. Please make sure if you receive the email from PASS, please take a few minutes to vote. And as always, you're welcome to join PASS if you haven't already. And the membership is free, completely free. And you are more than welcome to join our chapter, which is Saturday Night SQL. And these are the selected meetings of May. Okay, over here. We have a meeting on May 7th. It's called Myths and Truths About SQL Server Transaction. But this meeting is a little bit long. It takes about an hour and a half. So you are more than welcome to register for this meeting. I'll send out the registration link later on after this meeting. And this meeting, because the last minute arrangement, so it was not listed in here, but I will send out an email notification for everybody in our for all our chapter members. And there are more meetings in May. And there are upcoming SQL Saturdays in May for these cities and also international ones. You can visit PASS chapter, PASS website to find the information. And PASS needs volunteers. I'm a volunteer as well. You can go to volunteer.sqlpass.org to find the local opportunity for volunteer and stay involved. And tonight I'm gonna transfer the screen to Peter. Just a second. I'm trying to find Peter. Oh.
Here I am.
Yeah, I'm trying to find you. Just a second. Okay, I just transferred the screen to you, Peter. And we can't see your screen.
Not yet. I'm doing it.
Okay.
You see my screen now?
Yes, yes. And Peter.
Which screen you see? I have two screens.
Yeah, I see your SQL It says a database 101.
Okay, okay,
Microsoft.
good. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Thank you so much, Peter, for coming back again to share your knowledge with us.
We just learn each other, right? We share some knowledge and share some experience with the things I have learned or you have learned. So this is this opportunity for me also to share the experience with past database related experience, right? So today I'm going to talk about developing SQL database in Azure. It's not very much so-called theory or skills. It's rather than what I know, what I did. So let me close this thing to the side. Yeah. Let me put the screen up. Come on. Okay. Right. So this is me, Peter Lu. So the topic is developing SQL Server in Azure. The agenda is similar to what I talked in the past. The brief introduction about myself, brief introduction about the company I work for, then Microsoft Azure, then Azure for MSDN subscriptions. If you remember, Azure for MSDN is free. If you are MSDN subscriber, you get it free. However, MSDND is stand for development. It cannot be put in production. So if you want to use Azure for production use, you need to buy separately, right? So I will list down some kind of sort of the price structure on Azure for production use. And then there are two SQL Server flavor within Azure. So I'm going to give some points on when to use what, what's the pros and cons of each other. Then I will show that most of that is basically demo. How to create database, how to connect database, how to query database, how to publish SQL Server Data 2 projects to SQL Server Azure, right? So not much talking, just doing. So I tried the process once, only once. So if I didn't do well in the demo, please forgive me, right? So this is me, Peter Lu. This is my home office setting. I have doing Oracle, SQL Server, Informatics a lot for many years. Working on Microsoft platform quite, I would say, since 95. .NET, SQL servers. I started SQL Server from 6.5. So you know how old I am, right? So right now I'm using SQL Server 2014 and also have some projects with SQL Server 2012, right? This is the company I worked for. This is Lexi. I specifically call this screen is that I don't know, we have 20 over people here. I see that. Lexi is aggressively hiring .NET developer. If you are good in .NET, good in SQL Server, if you are looking for a job, you probably want to think about it. In last 5 days, I interviewed 10 people. I extended 2, maybe 3 offers. We still have like 5 to 10 vacancies. So if you are interested looking for a job, just by the way, this is the company in Michigan, Ann Arbor. We have other places, but largely in Ann Arbor. We do .NET, we do C#, we do Java, we do Swift, iOS app, PHP, anything you name it, right? Okay. So if you are interested in looking for a job, and just using WeChat or Weixin to connect me. Right? So Azure. Azure is Microsoft cloud platform. They started from February 2010. Started from 2010. And it's not like very steady. They add like as time goes by, almost every time I go to Azure, I see some new services. So they are still growing services very aggressively. And as of now, they're close to 30 different services, but I'm not going to talk about those other services. Will touch roughly just mostly I will touch SQL Server here, right? So let's say this is Azure, right? Azure, okay. So these are the screenshots of Azure. Azure in so-called management portal. This is the newer version. This the right side is the newer version. The left side is the older version. Actually, I like the older version more. I don't know why. I mean, maybe I'm being used to the older version. So the one thing is good, the older version tells you how much credit you have. So how much money you can use. Newer version doesn't have that. Then another thing, the older version has the firewall setting, like enable you to set up your firewall easily. Newer version, maybe I didn't spend enough time to figure out that, but I feel more comfortable with older UI, right? So if you are MSDN subscriber, I am. It depends on the subscription level. You get credit monthly. If you are having the Visual Studio Enterprise version, you get $150 per month. If you get like a platform subscriber, which normally the IT people does, the platform doesn't have Visual Studio, but it has like SQL Server, Windows side, the Windows Server CD installations, all the SharePoint side, all that kind of platform stuff. For Visual Studio for professional, that is very, I would say, very economical way. Recently, I purchased about 10 licenses for my employee. It's like $700 for a year. Then you have $50 every month discount, right? So it's very economical way to have access to Microsoft professional resources. This is the so-called service tier. So if remember I said you do MSDN subscription anyway you're free, right? You get a credit. So far I used till the MSDN subscription. I never pay any single cents. I used like since 2010. Then, but this the basic standard premium is for production use, right? What the difference between basic and standard premium is depends on the performance. How many transactions you can handle per minute of that, right? So, but they are support, for example, the basic support small database, typical one single active operation at a given time. Standard is support a little bit more, multiple concurrent queries, like including the workgroup or web application. Premium is designed for high transaction volume, supporting a larger number of concurrent users. So it depends your application. You want to choose which one is the one for you. The good thing is that you can migrate. You can start with basic, and then when your application become more users or performance become critical, you can migrate to the upgrade to the standard and to premium. So this is good. The entry point is very low, and you can smoothly, seamlessly upgrade as you need. This is the money. the price, right? So this is so-called EDTU, is Elastic Database Transaction Unit. So how many EDTU, how many maximum storage size, maximum DB pool per DB per pool, maximum EDTS per DB, depends on the price. In the way that if you are doing this 1200 EDT per pool, you are doing 122 gig of data or 400 gig of data, then probably you are doing good business. You don't mind to pay. If you are very small, it's just $150 a month. So it's very, very compatible. So this is the basic tier. Then this is the standard tier. You look at the price changed, right? From the standard tier from $150 to $1,200, $1,800. And this from $225 to $2,700, right? If you go to premium, $8,000, right? But you look at the database size, 750 gig, right? It's 1,200 transactions per second. What kind of transaction? Probably you can, even you do Best Buy website or eBay website, you can handle this. So if you are doing that kind of business, this $8,000 is almost nothing. Right? Those are the production use you pick, right? So, however, there are two flavors of it. Remember, let me go back. Yeah, here. Okay. You look at here, I can have virtual machine here, right? You have virtual machine here and virtual machine here. So if I have virtual machine, then I can install SQL Server to that virtual machine any way I want it, right? If I have a virtual machine, I can have a dedicated with memory, dedicated CPU cycles, everything dedicated. Basically, almost look like a physical machine, right? So that's so-called SQL Server VM. Another way is you create database. It's like this SQL Server VM is like you having a single family house. The SQL Server DB like you are staying in the apartment, like that, right? If you are staying in the single family house, you can do anything you want. You can renovate it, you can upgrade it, whatever version you like. But if you are staying in the apartment, then, for example, the hot water may not be hot, right? The air conditioning may be something not good, but I mean it's cheap, right? So that is the comparison here is that it's the lower maintenance. It's like you stay in an apartment, you don't need to mow the lawn, you don't need to move the slope, right? So basically Microsoft does everything for you. You don't even need to do upgrade. You don't even need to do the backup restore. It does everything for you, right? It's less expensive. I started my service with like less than $5 per month, but anyway I have $150 credit, so I never pay any single dollar. For this virtual machine, is probably more expensive because you own the server, and it's much faster and dedicated hardware resource. It's best for application compatibility. For example, some application need SQL Server 2014. Some application is designed for 2012 or something like that. So you can pick the SQL Server version you install. But if you put in the SQL Server, SQL DB, the first version, the first options, you have what you have. You don't have choice. And in the SQL Server VM, you can upgrade your VM. You add more RAM. You can add more CPU cycle. You can even add more network resource at your wish. So that's the choices you select. What I would say is that you can start with the SQL DB. When you find that the performance is an issue, or you already made tons of money, you can migrate it to SQL Server VM. Right? So this is how you create a database. This is the older version, you create new version to create database, this is older version database. All you do is click button new, then you give the name, you select different region, you create databases. Then after you're done with it, you can delete it off. Right? So you can say I choose the database Saturday night. I use my Visual Studio MSDN subscription, so I'm not going to pay anyway. I have a credit. Then I choose the new database server. Then I choose the region, right? Then I decide the login ID and password. Then push a button create. About 2 minutes, database created. That's simple, right? After you create it, you have here. See that, right? They give you a server name, all that stuff. I will show you this. I did it once. I only did it once. Then I did it off purposely then to show you how to connect it back. Right? Then connect the database. Remember here you can, after you create the database, go through the configuration, you can copy the connection string. Then you plug in the connection string to your SQL Server Management Studio plus the server name, authentication, put ID, blah, blah. Then you connect. However, you are not allowed to connect. If you connect, yes, don't forget to free up your IP in firewall setting. That by default, it doesn't allow anybody to access. Then, but if you access, they say, oh yeah, you are the one creating this SQL Server in this computer with this IP address. I'm going to allow you this IP address to access this server. You can add any other IP address to access it. But if you don't add, that's all. So supposedly you create database server here, then you run your application, maybe you host the application in Amazon, let's say, right? Your Amazon running the application, that particular application has an IP address. You just plug in the IP address to this server, to this firewall, it works. Otherwise, you won't. I will demo to show you how to set this up. You will see how it happens. Right? Then, okay, so now you can connect to database, you can query database, and I will show you some slightly difference on how when you connect to Azure database and when you connect to SQL Server, the physical server database. The Management Studio behaving a little bit differently. Then anyway, I will show you how are different. Then besides that, I will show you how to publish SSDT project to SQL Server Azure. Right? First, you need to set up the publish profile, sure. But that is not enough. That's some small trick you need to do with your project before you can publish. Again, I will show you that. Right? So there are two versions of SQL Server Azure. It's SQL Server Azure 11 and the SQL Server Azure 12. And there's a way to upgrade. Right? You can check which version. So if you select version in there in SQL Server Azure, then you will see this number, 11. Then if you query the 12, you will get 12. Right? Then what you can upgrade your SQL Server from 11 to 12, but that's no reverse way. Once you upgrade it, no like backwards. Right? Then after that, you need to update your SSDT project for 12 to publish again. Right? So query database, you just find new query, then do normal business. Right? But I will show you how much different it is. Right? So I've used almost 30 minutes. Before I proceed for the demo, anybody have any questions, any suggestions, any other areas you want me to cover? Would you?
Peter, so far I haven't seen any questions posted. If anybody has questions, please raise your hand or type your question in the chat window. I will ask it for you. Just a second, Peter. I saw one. This person asked, what is AQL, Azure?
What's SQL? S-U-R-E. What is SQL?
I have unmute you. I don't know how to pronounce your first name. If you like to ask the question yourself, please go ahead.
Hi Peter, this is Chinmay. You have mentioned, yeah, SQL Server Azure 11 versus SQL Azure 12. So I just got confused. What is that SQL Azure and SQL Azure? I thought it's some new product.
Okay. SQL Azure. Okay, let's see this way. Okay, let's see this one. Okay, see that?
Okay,
this is the SQL database. See that?
Okay. Yeah.
This SQL database, that means you don't own the physical machine. You access database. This is so-called SQL Azure. And if you get a virtual machine, then you install SQL Server to the virtual machine. That is a SQL Server.
Okay. What will be the difference in time? Like if I want to create a 1 GB database and 1 terabyte size of a database in Azure, whether it will be any time difference, creation time difference?
It's not much difference.
Okay. Thank you.
I will show you when I do the demo.
Sure.
Hey Peter, in terms of performance, is there any difference between those two?
Yes, there are serious difference. SQL Server, SQL DB is shared. It won't be very high. If you have a higher throughput, let's say you have hundreds of thousands minute transactions per minute, the SQL database may not do well. But if you use it for development, for testing, that's more than enough.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have questions? I don't see any, so maybe.
Okay, so let's proceed. Right. So let me put this aside. Okay, so okay, this is my MSDN, right? So if you are MSDN subscriber, you probably know this stuff, right? You log into MSDN and you see this link called Active Microsoft Edge. So they basically give you for free. You don't need to do anything, just get the money and use it, right? So basically, you, as I wrote in other article, you use it, it's not just use it. If you don't use it, you lose it. Right? So I would say if you are MSDN subscriber, it is highly recommended that you active the Microsoft Azure service. Anyway, it doesn't cost you anything, right? I did it. So this is first MSDN subscription. Then from here, you can go to a management pool. You can link the work account, all that stuff. So two things you want to use. One is Azure, one is the Visual Studio Team Service. Basically give you a TFS in the cloud for free if you are MSDN subscriber. Anyway, I'm not working for MSDN. I'm for Microsoft. I'm not selling this product. Just I love it. I like it. That's why I share with you. Right? So I'm going to close this guy. So this is the old version of Azure you got in. You see, they show you like I have some subscriptions. I have 1, 2, 3 subscriptions. The Champion service is my production service I paid for my production operation. Then I have 2 the Visual Studio subscription, one with Ultima, one with Professional. So right now what I'm showing you is the one I use. You see, see that Ultima, right? Ultima and then Professional. See that, right? I create a database here, right? So I'm going to, in front of your face, I'm going to delete this guy and create one more. Show you how slow, how fast, how slow it is, right? So let's go here. Yeah, database something right will be deleted. You say okay, I say yes. It's gone. Right? So they don't cost me money. Then I say add new. So SQL database, right? I say quick create. And most of the time it's just like that. You say I use Professional. Let's say Saturday night. Then server. Okay, I choose the East server. Right? Then the region is you like your application close to where it is. Otherwise, the network traffic may be a little bit. So it depends on where you are, where your servers are, where your website is going to be hosted. You decide which server. Even let's say you create a new server, they ask you which new server where to create a new server, right? So I'm saying create a new database. See, it started to do that. Creating. 250 gig database. See that? Then I can choose to enable auditing. So for my demo purpose, I don't really bother about it, right? So and I'm good. Here, okay. So here, once I create database, I can look at the configurations, dashboard, monitoring, scale, configuration, go replicate, all that stuff, right? But I want to show you this. See, set up the Windows Azure firewall rule for this IP address. It means my computer IP address. But before do that, let me show you the connection string, right? Connect design with the connection string, right? So I'm going to copy this connection string. Did I put a password? Yeah, I should have. So let me do this thing here. Which server? Yeah, this one. No, it's not. Let me copy that server connection string. Server is TCP, blah, blah, blah. You see that? Cannot open connection, right? The IP address is declined. It's not allowed to access the server. Why? Because that server is not opened for this IP address, right? So now I need to go back to this guy here. So set up a file window Azure firewall rule for this IP address. The current IP address is this. It's not included in the firewall. You want to include it now? Say yes. So they allow me to access particular this IP address to Apple to access the server, right? So then we go back again. Login failure. Forgot my password. Let me see where's the password. Okay. Right? Here you are, Saturday night. You see that? Right? So then let's say I'm going to put some scripts there, right? Just put some script. Details. Saturday night. You see Saturday night is selected. Then I say create table. Then you see that. See that? Right? I can create a table. And now I'm showing you some differences here. Okay. In comparison, I'm going to connect to my local database. Yeah, and remove reduce this table, right? Instead of its custom field. So here I can say select top, for example. Right? I don't have that fine, right? So if I want to edit, let's say edit top 200 rows, I can add that. Not committed, can be too big. Anyway, so that is, look at data size. 50, 50. I don't know why this thing. I don't know why. Anyway, so then let me insert a row of that, right? Let me insert a row. So let me insert query. Oh, column name. just copy some strings. I have some scripts here. Why? Binary truncated 50 and 1 chunk. I don't get it. Let me do something else. Okay. Yeah, in 1 chunk this way. Give me a second, right? So I have this guy here. I can do it. Right? Nice. Oh, duplicate. I can truncate it first. Truncate it first. So truncate that onto. Right. So now I have some data here, right? So in the first, I can say select top 10 row. I get this, right? However, I cannot do that here. In this Azure table, Azure, you see, I only have new table, screen table, but I don't have select 1,000 row. I don't have edit 200 row. You see that, right? Design, select, edit, I don't have it here. This is different, a slight difference between Azure database and the SQL Server database. Other than that, it's almost you can do anything you want. Let me put some data here. So let's do that in here. Right, I can create table, then I can insert table. I almost can do anything I want, right? However, there's no such thing here allow me to, I can refresh this slide. See, I don't have select 1,000 rows, right? So I got to write select that, right? So that's the query database. Let me look at my demo. So connect database, query database, the create new database I did, connect database I did, publish SDT. Okay. So now I have a Saturday night database here, right? I have a project called employee profile, right? I want to publish to that, right? So I have the connection string. I know how to connect, right? Okay, let's do that. So right now, you look at the database, we got nothing, just, it's two table, leave that alone, doesn't matter, right? You can do views, synonyms, programming, store procedures, functions, just as you do normal, right? So let me do this. Database, I say public, build first. Build first. Right, this database, I have a whole bunch of stuff there, right? So I'm going to publish. Then I say load a profile. Okay. But of course, database is different, right? Let me copy the database somewhere else. So that connection string is the connection string then yeah, okay, that's good. Right, pass database, right? I can test the connection. It's pretty cool, right? Good. So let's try to do it. Publish. Oh, got approval. So a project which specified SQL Server 2014 as a target platform cannot be published to Microsoft Azure SQL database, right? So what does it mean here? Means here, property, we choose SQL Server 2014, right? So what you need is choose this guy, right? Let's try again. Good. And publish. Load a profile. I should save it. We copy the connection string. Okay, should save it. You know what? This time I will save it. Azure profile. Save it. Yes, save it. So next time I don't need to worry about it. Okay, published. Just don't know why just now insert doesn't work. Don't get it.
Oh, Peter, that's because you had your column has 10 characters and the string you enter is more than 10.
Okay. Oh, I didn't pay attention to that. Sorry. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, a number of people pointed that, but I didn't notice until now. Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you. So now they are creating the publishing view, preview, then push the code, the script to the SQL Server Azure. So when this is done, my SQL Server published to the server database as good as published to my local. Yeah, you see. So far so good. See, right? Okay. Now go back to Saturday night. Come on. About Saturday night, I do refresh. Da, 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 you see that? All my tables there, right? But again, I cannot just do right mouse click select, right? I just need to do this. Select. Start from DBO. Right. Table there. I should have some table as data. Oh, I don't have it. Sorry. Technology have it. Right. Yeah. So that the database DDR scripts work. My post deployment script work because the post deployment script is the one who pushing the data there. So technology do all the inserts, right? So with that, let me see anything else I have. Publish database, query database. I show you how to query database, right? So as I said, this is not very much technology per se. It's just say, okay, this is a new place. It's like you walk into a new house. Say, oh, this new house has this thing. Be aware of those tricks here and there and use it. Mostly it's free. Like I have my database here. If you look at this is my, yeah, this is my one database. Another database here. This is the Saturday night. I have another database. Let me try to connect. Yeah, this database is my production database. I have a website using this database. It's the app I did for spelling champion. I have tables inside. Yeah, I can't see the table. Okay, word. Oh, what's the problem? Huh? I thought I connected to it. Oh, that's a different problem. I will fix that later. Oh, IP address, same thing. Right. So with this, you can. How about this guy? Yeah, I have this guy. I have a few databases there. Membership, ASCII.NET. I can't remember what's the table name. Let me look at it. Another project. Anyway, you've got an idea, right? So in the meantime, have anybody have any questions on how this thing works? On what you want to know more about it? Please let me know.
Peter, Doug has one question here.
Okay.
It says,
Yeah.
how would you duplicate SQL agent features with Azure database? Doug, I'm gonna go ahead and unmute you.
Okay, let me look at it.
Uh,
See, this is not SQL. You need to understand this is not a SQL server. This is a SQL database. If you, let's say, compare to my SQL server, this is my SQL server, right? I have a security, I have a replication, I have a SQL Server agent, right? This is my physical box installed in this box, right? However, it's different. This guy only have database part, doesn't have those replication server, SQL Server agent, all those jobs, all that stuff. SSIS is not part of it. So, yeah, go ahead.
I'm just wondering, when you do a select star from a table name, can you drag the table name over just like you do with the
I would say let's try. You can.
yeah.
Oh, I connect a different place. We'll close this guy. Yeah. So let's technology, I don't know, right? So I just take it out. So I can go here to find the table. Even then it's there. But it just doesn't produce the script as normally you do here.
Okay.
Yeah, remember so technology, normally you go here, say select 20,000 rows, right? It doesn't do that.
But
You can drag.
you can scrape out the tables.
Yeah, let's see that. Employee. So scribble tables, let's create. So yes. You can see we already created that. Just somehow screen is not displayed properly. So what screen? Great. All right. So it does whatever it's supposed to do.
Okay, we have a few questions. Are you gonna take them now, or you want to wait?
Yeah, we can do it. We can do now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Vivian was saying basically we cannot use SSIS for ETL. We can only use insert into. Can we use bulk load?
Actually, you can do it this way, you know. SSIS is, if you SSIS, you can store your SSIS package in another database, right? So you can store your SSIS package in your local database or other databases, but you set the target data source of your SSIS package to SQL Server Azure. You still can do it. It's just that this guy doesn't have the integration service enabled. The only thing they have is SQL Server, SQL database service, database engine service.
So this has nothing to do with like your account type, like basic or standard or okay. Okay, cool. So Chimei said where to specify the DB size, database size while creating it in Azure.
Remember the database size by like I'm doing the SQL Server at the MSDN subscription. The subscription give me the default size, minimum size. They used to be small size, used to be very small size, like a 5 gig, 5 gig or something, very small size for like free. Then they changed that minimum 250 gig. But then they charge you for the hour for the storage you used. And if you want to have a bigger ones, you can specify bigger ones. Then let me try it again. Let me try create another database. Remember, I choose the quick create, right? If I do customer create, see that? You see this? I can choose the size. See that? Service name. Then used to be business or web was retired. My first one, no wonder my first database, the champion database was not able to be seen. They retired. So if less than we do basic, you give a name, all right? My DE. Then this is the basic ones, right? So maximum size 2 gig, right? So they create a database for you with a smaller size, then probably give you see 250 gig. This is probably where we set a maximum database and allow the select service there. You can modify this value from a skill table for your database. So let me change the Saturday database configuration. Right now is automatic. See that? So by default, they create the maximum size. You want to change it to smaller one, you can.
Cool. Max, is it Max Wei? I have unmute you. If you would like to ask a question yourself, you may go ahead.
My question is, can you create a link server to the database in Azure?
Link server. I don't think so. Because a link server is not, if you look at here, where do you create link server? Your link server is created in this server, right? Not inside database. It's in this part, right? Security, right?
Yeah, can you create a link server on local to the Azure database?
Then you can. But you can you can link server from Azure to your on-premise server, but you cannot create a link server on the other way around.
Okay, thank you.
Here's a few more.
Yeah.
So can you create an SSIS package and basically have the destination table in Azure? Is that right?
Yes. You either can use the as. Let me set this. Give me a second. I'll call. Hey, I'm in the meeting. I'll call you back. 我在开会。You can define SSIS package. Either use Azure as target the destination data source or source data source. Basically, you can use either from Azure or to Azure with SSIS package. However, Azure, as I said, SQL DB is not as a so-called integrated service provider. You cannot store that package in Azure DB.
Okay. Give me a second. Let me try to find the question. For some reason, the question somehow, when I click it, it disappeared.
Just look at the chat. The chat.
Chat.
Okay,
What is the
okay.
chat?
Yeah, I think this.
Okay, how does the transaction log work with Azure?
Right.
Yeah. Yes, you're right. That's another. That's another. Okay, so how do you duplicate SQL Server agent feature? It doesn't provide. Basically, you cannot use this here, but you can actually. Okay. Basically, we can.
This person was asking, just adding to Chime's question, you can also change your tier basics,
Yeah.
either
Yes.
premium
Yes.
via
You can change it.
SQL too, right?
Yeah. I show you this, right? I can just change it here. So that by default created by, remember I created database as like a quick create. So they use standard, we use 250, right? I can switch to basic, I can switch to premium as I wish after created.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let me see if we have.
The next question is how, from your past work experience, how do you describe the percentage of which company have used SQL? I bet it's used, it's not sued, right? Okay, Azure service. I would say, let's say this way, a lot of startup company, including the company I work for, which is like a 500 employee now, we don't have any physical server locally in on our premise. Even our AD server is in Microsoft Azure. Email server, everything is Azure, SQL Server included. So the small company, the new startup company, if you don't have anything yet, the cloud is your first options. But those big companies, let's say GM, Boeing, or those big companies like Procter & Gamble, GE, they already have their internal IT infrastructure. So probably they don't want to move to cloud. Even to move to cloud, they might want to move to so-called private cloud to set up the virtual machine infrastructure within their own network. But if you are startup a small company tomorrow, I would say cloud is the first option.
Oh, I have a quick question.
Sure.
So at the beginning you were saying that if you are the subscriber, you can use your credit to pretty much use Azure almost for free. What if you leave the organization, and how would the contract?
It's still use as you go, right? So for example, my account, right, I show you I have one production usage champion service. Yes, right? So this is using my other subscriber account. It's not MSDA. I tell you the truth, so far I have not paid even $1 to it. It's free. I used it for like 3 years. So it's per use, right? I mean, we are doing things for try something, make some, your query is not huge. Your data store is not huge. It's basically try something, right? So if you buy yourself, I put a credit card there. I just say I want to use, I will pay as we go. I set up the upper limit $5 per month, but so far nothing. When I created this champion account, they give me one database of 5 meg database, which allow me to host 5 websites. So I still have some websites here. See, I have 2 websites here. Two websites. So far, I never paid $1. So I would say you don't put a huge amount of data there. If you only do it for testing, for trying, it's almost nothing.
Right. So say like you are doing the testing and everything, it's all under your personal subscription.
It's not personal. It's under MSDN subscription, right?
Okay. So it when you leave your current organization, does the account
Okay.
be
That's a very
affected?
good. That's a very good question. Okay, I show you what. You remember I show you I have two MSDN subscription, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have Ultimo, I have a Visual Studio Professional. This Ultimo is the time when I work for HP. And that still works. They didn't charge me anything. Although I already lost the subscription. If I show you, let me.
Can you still query it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So let me show you my MSDN subscription. But I don't have other subscription anymore. I only have Visual Studio Professional subscription, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if I go to Azure, my other subscription is still available. So let's say I created a database. That's the database. Where is that? Okay. So, right, I'm going to add a new database. And database quick. Right. They still allow me to create, allow me to do it. Looks like Microsoft didn't pay attention to that part. So
Oh,
still work. Right.
that's good news. So is it possible for somebody to inherit what you created?
Unless I let them access, I will create a user ID for them to access. Like for example here, if I here create in this database, right? There's a user ID somewhere. If I create a user for the security here, then I add a login. There are time I did that. Which one I did? See, I created another user, right? Then I give you user ID, give you a password, then you can access. I give you the connection string, you can access. Of course, I will release your IP address.
But that person cannot be the owner of this account, right? Say like you would no longer working in this field or something, is it possible for somebody to
No,
become the
no.
owner?
It can, but it is a bit difficult
Okay.
because I put my credit card there. If I transfer to you, then my credit card is still there, right?
So would somebody be able to use, replace your credit card information with somebody else's?
That you need to, I would say, do some in-depth digging to find out how to transfer. But so far, Microsoft's policy is MSDN is attached to one individual.
Okay.
They are not like for example, I left HP. Then they are not going to let me transfer my MSDN subscription from Peter Lu to another person, but basically just take away the MSDN subscription, then give to somebody else. But what I have done here still with me.
Makes sense. Okay. Wonderful. Is there any other questions? So far, I don't see any additional questions.
Okay, so I think that's it, I guess.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Peter, for delivering another wonderful lecture for us. That's really a good chance for us to learn additional knowledge and get information out of it. Thank you so much, and thank you everybody for joining us tonight. We'll see you hopefully in May 7th.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. And this, I saw another question. Oh, okay.
Okay,
Never mind.
yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead,
Oh,
go
no,
ahead. Yeah.
Oh, no, they just said thank you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, this meeting, again, is recorded, and I will post the recording on YouTube as soon as possible. Then I will send out the meeting, the YouTube link to everybody when it's available. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Peter. Once again.
Good. Bye.
Goodbye.